Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Sis Ying.
Hello.
Hello. So, again, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Power Duo Business Live. I am Bernadette, originally from Baguio City, Philippines, and now living here in Canada as an early childhood educator and a proud digital business owner and a child of God. And of course, I'm so excited to be here with my amazing co host, Sis Ying.
Hello. Thanks, Sis Bernadette. Hello, everyone. I'm Ying Harlan, a recently retired corporate professional based here in Ontario, Canada. Every week, we bring inspiring guests to remind us that life doesn't stop after one chapter. It actually gets even more exciting. Back to you, Sis Bernadette.
All right. So tonight is going to be a very special conversation because we're not just talking about business. We're talking about setbacks, courage, reinvention, and creating a life on your own terms. Our special guest tonight is someone whose story reminds us that sometimes what feels like the end of one chapter can actually be the beginning of something much greater. Please welcome Dr. Mark.
Thank you
Hello,
guys for
Mark.
having me. Thank you, Ying. Thank you, Bernadette, for having me here. Hi, everybody.
You can introduce yourself
Oh,
quickly.
sorry. My name is Mark. I am a PhD math professor at a four-year university. Unexpectedly lost my job in 2016 and worked side hustles for years and raided my retirement account and wondered how I was ever going to be able to retire. And I was living on credit cards and completely stressed out until I found this opportunity in 2024.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mark. To everyone, Dr. Mark is a lifelong educator, as he says, who experienced something that many people would consider devastating, being let go from his corporate career. But instead of allowing that experience to define him, he used it as a catalyst to explore a new path through online income. Today, he is building towards early retirement and creating more freedom to live life on his own terms. And I think there is so much we can learn from his journey.
Yes, definitely, sis. So let's all dive in right away to the question. So, Dr. Mark, after being fired from your corporate job, what made you believe that setback could actually become the beginning of something better? Take it away.
As you said, you're a child of God, so I was praying about it, and God never closes one door without opening another. Um, I had wanted to get my PhD my whole life. It had always been a goal of mine, and I'd started working in corporate America and didn't have time. And when I went back to teaching full time after losing that corporate job, I got to start working on my PhD, and actually, they paid for it. Um, so right out of the gate, even though it was stressful and financially it was tough because my salary was much different teaching than it was in corporate America. I was pulling money out of my retirement account. I was living off credit cards, working a lot of side hustles, but I still had that positive for me. And once I got that, it was time to decide what the next step was.
All right. Thank you, Mark. So a setback doesn't have to be your stopping point, right? It can become your starting point. Sometimes the door that closes is pushing us towards a door we were too afraid to open. So your circumstances may change unexpectedly, but still have a choice. Stay stuck in what happened or start building what comes next. So now let's dig into the second question, which is building a different future. All right. What has building an online income stream changed about the way you think about retirement, freedom, and the life you want to live?
Um, Well, it's easy now to say I didn't let the losing my job was a setback, right? Like it was tough. I went through all the emotions that everybody went through, which is one of the reasons why anybody who's following me, I know we're sharing this on my page and your pages, but anybody who's following me knows I say the worst time to start building another income stream is when you desperately need it. And I was kind of in the spot I desperately needed it. I was working all these side hustles. Um, and I realized to the point of your question that I wasn't going to be able to retire. I had pulled all that money out of my retirement account. I wasn't going to be able to retire. Something had to change. And I started looking, was I going to go back to corporate America? Was I going to change institutions now that I have my PhD and try to get a higher level and make more money that way? Was I going to find another side hustle? Was I just going to not work a side hustle, but go get another part-time / full-time job that I could do along with teaching? I started looking very heavily into franchises and found this business opportunity. And I did not expect to find what I found. Like, I thought I was going to make some monthly income that would, be my side hustle. I didn't realize I was starting a business that was going to allow me to fix my retirement account and end up retiring probably earlier than I would have had I stayed at corporate America. I don't, for people who are watching who haven't been there, like, you don't know that weight that's lifted, right? And I talk to people every day who are my leads who, are in that same position. They've gotten laid off from a job. They didn't see it coming. And they're looking for what's next. And I tell them, that like this has been life-changing and soul lifting for me. Where losing my job was soul crushing and realize how much I had taken on my retirement account. And now, like, I'm excited. I'm going to get to travel. I'm going to get to do things. So
That's awesome. Yes, definitely. I agree with you. So, freedom is not just about making money, it's about creating choices. So, when we build something beyond our traditional income, we can begin thinking differently about our future. So, instead of only saying, when can I retire? We can start asking, what kind of life do I want to create before retirement? The goal is not simply to work harder, it's to build strategically, learn new skills, and create possibilities for the future. So, again, thank you, Mark, for that. So, let's go to the last but not the least question. So, for someone who has experienced a career setback and is afraid to start something new, what advice would you give them based on your own journey? Take it away, Mark.
well, yeah, I think you're being afraid of the wrong thing, right? You you probably already lived in fear of the career setback, right? Like that, and we all have a worst case scenario in our head, right? And like for most of us, losing my job, what would I do if I lose my job? And then you're at that point. Well, that's your worst case scenario. So what if you try something and fail, right? Like your situation, it's a net neutral, right? But if you try something and it goes really well, or even if you fail, like you learn something. That's why I keep telling people, even if I walked away from this business today, I have learned how to run Facebook ads. I have learned how to do social media, right? Like when I came to social media, I had a Facebook account and I posted, haha, look at this, or here's a picture of my food or whatever. Like now I understand about content and messaging and branding. Those are skills I can take if I do decide to go to another corporate job, or I use them in my teaching career, right? So no one should be afraid to start something new. You should be afraid of not progressing, not growing, not stretching, not learning new things. I think that's much more terrifying than the fear of starting something new. and especially this community, you both know, like I've met you guys, this, Bernadette, you and I have worked closely together. We formed a great friendship. I've got friends all over the globe now that I never imagined I would be having these conversations
Mm.
with people from all walks of life over across the world, right? Like last night, I'm talking to somebody in Ghana. I've got a buddy who lives in Seoul, Korea now, right? Like he's an educator in Seoul, Korea, but he runs his business. We run the same business. Um, it just absolutely amazes me, and I can't tell people enough. There's nothing to be afraid of. Like everything should be optimistic from this standpoint.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. You don't have to have everything figured out before you take that first step. And fear is normal, especially with this online business, right? Uncertainty is normal. So starting over is uncomfortable. But sometimes the biggest transformation begins when we decide, I'm willing to try something different. Like that's the code, right? You don't need to know every step today. You just need enough courage to take that next step.
Absolutely.
All right. So, to everyone, Mark's story reminds us that our past does not have to dictate our future. Maybe you've experienced a job loss. Maybe you're feeling stuck in your career. Maybe you've been working for years but still don't feel like you're building the future you truly want. Whatever your situation is, remember this: your current chapter is not your entire story.
Very much true. So, again, thank you so much, Dr. Mark, for sharing your real story with us tonight. And to everyone watching, I hope Mark's journey reminds you that sometimes a closed door is not rejection, it can be redirection. So, we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control what we choose to do next. So, if you're dreaming about more time, more flexibility, more freedom, or simply having a plan B for your future, don't be afraid to explore what's possible. Your next chapter could be waiting on the other side of one brave decision. Until next time, keep believing, keep learning, keep building, and never stop creating the life you prayed for. So, thank you again, Dr. Mark, for being our special guest, and thank you for everyone who is joining us. So, thank you, Dr. Mark, for being our special guest, and thank you again for those who are watching us right now. So, this is Bernadette,
And I am Ying,
and
and
this
this is our guest.
is our guest, Mark.
That's Mark. Thank you guys for having me. Good night, everybody.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
watching,
so much,
everyone.
Duo. Bye for now. God
Bye
bless
bye.
everyone. Bye.